This will like to step in further, and then execution.
Sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulty, but we got it all sorted out.
No problem. I was just let me confirm. You guys can see me. Let me say hi. There it is. All right. So looks like we've got about 9 people on this call, and we are recording this session. We've got our 3 panelists, and I'm just making sure we have good audio coming in. Do you guys just do an audio check for me? David, you're muted if you...
Morning, afternoon, Patrick. Nice to meet you virtually.
All right. Dr. Wook, if you can do your test as well. There you go.
Thank you very much. David, it's my pleasure to meet you. And Ravi, you're looking good as always. Like the HCC in the background, not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Apologies for the hair. It's my hurricane hair, you know, hurricane.
Oh, yeah, it's all hurricane here now. I tell you, I don't tell anyone I got my swimsuit underneath it, so I'm all ready.
With the jacket and a collar tied at the top end.
So, David, you get to use me as an example of what not to look like for a presentation. Okay, how's that? How's that? I'll be the demo here. So it's about 1:06. Dr. Wook, if you don't mind kicking us off, just give us a quick intro. I've got the slide up there on the dates for the competition. If you could just run through that, and then we'll take Q&A from the students here. Believe all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and give them the ability to unmute themselves when they're ready. And I've given them permission so they can share unmute, but we'll give you some minutes here to just let us know why we're all here, and I can introduce David after and kick into a Q&A session.
Thank you, Ravi, for that introduction, and I really appreciate it. Yes, this is I believe our second year, Ravi, that we're doing this. I think last year was the first year, and I know it's one of those things that we do together that not only help bring the community together, we bring 2 great institutions together, the University of St. Thomas and HCC. And at the same time, it opens up a lot of doors and opportunities for people who believe in their ideas, believe in their entrepreneurial dreams, and give them a platform to share those entrepreneurial dreams, and in some ways have them looked at, have them, I don't want to say criticized, but have them reviewed, and allow people to, at the same time, potentially win some award money to go away to start their own enterprises, like all of us here have been very lucky to do in our lives. And as we know, as we've been sending out our emails, we're looking forward to our September 12th date. And that's going to be, I think, for some of us, a very scary date. I think some of us it's going to be a very long date. And I think for some of us, it's going to be a great time for us to hear a lot of hear about a lot of great companies that are making ground, and as they say in the old days, green shoots, right? They were talking about green shoots, you know, those young companies that are shooting up. And we're very lucky this year to have, as we were talking about earlier, I think last week we had 42 groups submit this year. Unfortunately, only 20 could be selected. And in those 20, we have 2 tracks, the entrepreneurship track and the social entrepreneurship track, which we think we have a great group of people to, within each track, going to be able to compete and to share their ideas. And of course, we know about the prize money sitting there, so I think we don't need to necessarily talk about all that. But in saying that, I'm going to make a nice kind of switch over to David. Maybe allow him to talk a little bit about his background. Does that sound good, Ravi? We'll just transition over to David.
Well, sure. And if I may, I actually have a short 2-minute video I like to share on David.
Okay.
and with the college, and then let him talk. Because David is someone that I have very high respect for, a mentor of mine, and someone who has made a great impact at the college. So I want to share a quick video that the college put together for what David has done with our Center for Entrepreneurship at HCC. And then, if I may, I'll let him start. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Take that presenter ball back. Sorry about that. And okay, so we should be good on sound. I'm going to mute my mic.
Was started 5 years ago when Zach Hodges asked me to become the entrepreneur in residence at the Northwest College. He said to me that entrepreneurs teach entrepreneurs. It's not a theoretical basis for learning, it's the practical entrepreneurship taught by entrepreneurs. And since then, we've appointed additional entrepreneurs in residence for some of the other colleges within HCC. And we provide education and opportunities for small businesses to learn and grow their businesses into successful enterprises. When I look at the students that come through our programs, the Small Business Success Series, the Business Plan Competition, the Goldman Sachs Series, the Women's Business Opportunities. Running a small business is such a rewarding experience, both from the experience point of view, from the economic point of view, and from the retirement point of view. Everything about it is, to my way of thinking, successful and in providing a fabulous lifestyle. My wife and I are both entrepreneurs. We've been entrepreneurs all of our lives, and we are now living the American dream, and the Centers for Entrepreneurship provides the opportunity for others to enjoy the American dream.
So with that, his passion and dedication for entrepreneurship, I'm extremely honored to introduce Mr. David Regenbaum, an entrepreneur resident of HCC, but also the foundation, HCC Foundation Board President, Mr. Regenbaum, to talk about pitch presentation and what that means for our students on the call here.
Thank you, Ravi. That video, whenever I see it, is embarrassing and it's not what I anticipated, be that as it may. I firmly believe in entrepreneurship. I've had 3 successful careers in my life. The first one was as an attorney in South Africa, where I started a law firm and grew it into one of the largest law firms, real estate law firms in South Africa. Then left South Africa for Houston, started a business over here, grew it and sold it in 2014. And I'm not one to retire, so I came to HCC, and this is my retirement at HCC, where I am a volunteer and focus on entrepreneurship, because essentially that's what brought me to the place I am today. It brought me to the ability to live the life I'd like to live, and I'm very comfortable where I am today as a result of entrepreneurship. I believe that people that have that entrepreneurial flair, that entrepreneurial attitude, can succeed in this country. The opportunity is there. The way of achieving success is there. The way to success is there. So I am here to help you start and grow your businesses, and I'll do everything in my power to do so. So that's the position from which I come. Ravi, do you want me to share my PowerPoint at this stage?
Yes, so that's perfect. And we've got about 6 students on the call here. I'd like them to just quickly do a tech check by just checking in. Let us know your name so we can, I can refer to you when I see you, your hand being raised. So unmute yourself, folks, and one by one, just say hello to David by just telling us your name and maybe the program that you're enrolled in at the college or the university. So you should all be able to unmute yourselves. All right, Armando, you're first on the list there. Oh, all right. Right now, everybody should be able to mute themselves and unmute themselves.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Armando Sanchez. I'm at St. Thomas University, Finance BBA with a minor in Econ.
All right, Armando, thanks for checking. All right, Emmett or Gabrielle, you guys are next on the list here. Unmute yourself and just let us know.
Hi, yes, my name is Ahmed Rawi. I'm a Master's of Clinical Translational Management student at the University of St. Thomas.
Glad you're here. Omar, Gabriella, Jamez, whoever's up, let's go.
Sure. My name's Omar. At the University of St. Thomas, studying finance and economics.
Glad you're here. Gabriella or Shannon or Jaimes?
Hi, I'm Shannon Ugo. My video is not working on this computer. Sorry, but I am a student at University of St. Thomas getting my doctorate in ethical leadership.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Okay, so either Jaimes or Gabriella, try unmuting yourself and confirm.
Oh, hi. My name is Jamez, but you can call me Elizabeth. I am majoring in biology at St. Thomas. Hi.
My apologies, Elizabeth. Didn't see the middle initial there, name there. Okay, but perfect. All right, I'm gonna try now, Gabriella.
Okay, it's working. Hi, my name is Gabriela Alvarez, and I'm an MBA student at University of St. Thomas. I'm getting my master's in business administration with a concentration in marketing.
Excellent. All right, so go ahead and mute yourself to see if that works. Okay, it does work. Okay, so all right, so if other folks join in, we'll just let them watch the presentation. And this will be recorded and shared on the YouTube channels. We'll at the end I'll share. But David, if you want to kind of kick us off, and then I know the group here is to have some questions for you on pitch presentations as they're preparing for their pitch day on September 12th. So I'll let you pass the presenter ball.
A pitch presentation is something that when you think about it, in your life, you have made pitches to your parents, to friends. Whenever you want someone to do something for you, or to give you something, or to buy something from you, whatever you want in life, if you want others to do it for you, you are pitching. The way that you pitch is what is critical and will dictate your success or not. There are 5 essential elements to your pitch, and they are, if you go through those 5 elements, the 5 elements are, first of all, are you credible? You must be believed. You must be someone that someone wants to believe, that someone wants to accept you and accept your word. If they don't believe you, if you're not credible, you will not really achieve anything in the presentation or in your request. So when you approach someone and you want to ask them to do something, you have 7 to 10 seconds to create your credibility. That first impression that someone has of you is absolutely critical. That impression is very difficult to change afterwards. So when you approach someone and you approach them to ask them for something, credibility is probably the most critical aspect of your approach. The next thing is, what problem are you trying to solve? What is a problem that they are facing that you are trying to solve? You have 15 seconds to describe the problem, and then you have 15 seconds to provide a solution. Critical, quick, meaningful solution to their problem. It is not something that you can go into detail at this stage. You need to present something that is going to solve their problem for them, and then entice them to ask you why. Entice them to ask you how you'll go about doing it. The how is important to them. It is not important to your initial pitch. The initial pitch is you have the solution. You have a situation that you can create that will solve their problem. The next thing is, what is your market opportunity? You must know your audience. You must know who you're pitching to. If you're pitching to a banker, you have one aspect to the pitch. You are pitching to borrow money. If you're pitching to an investor, you are pitching to someone who is going to be a partner of yours, and your credibility and everything else comes into play again. But you must know who you're pitching to and the market opportunity to that particular person. If you're pitching to someone who wants to buy, you want them to buy your product or to buy your services, the same thing applies. So every time you pitch, you need to know to whom are you pitching, and the more preparation you have in investigating that person's background, investigating what they want, the better your pitch is going to be. Again, you have some 15 seconds to do that. And then you have about 5 seconds to give your ask, to describe what you want them to do. Buy my product, invest in my business, lend me money. That is about 5 or 6 seconds you've got to do that. That 1 minute pitch that you've heard of, that may be called an elevator pitch, is the pitch that you give when you think about asking someone to do something for you. And that explanation, these 5 factors are critical. Everything else written about a pitch presentation is an expansion of these 5 principles. And Ravi, if there are any questions at this stage, I'll be happy to answer them or go into other detail.
All right, everybody. So you've had the opportunity of seeing David's full presentation on this that was shared by Dr. Wook. And do you have any questions for David at this stage? Or would you like for him to continue to the next slide? This is your opportunity to ask him and prepare for the presentation. Unmute yourself or raise your hand or let me know. I'm going to give a second here. Okay, David, go ahead and continue with the next slide. And the intent for this session is a Q&A, and we do intend to wrap up in 30 minutes. So Go ahead and continue.
Okay. So there are 9 effective aspects, 9 C's of the elevator pitch, of an effective elevator pitch, consist of concise. Be concise. Don't use extraneous words. Be clear. Don't use MBA talk or words that, the abbreviations, so that anyone can understand you, that your grandparents can understand you, your children can understand you, anyone that you're talking to can clearly understand what you're trying to say. Be compelling. The effective elevator pitch describes the problem and the solution. Credible, we've spoken about in the first one, your appearance, your mannerism, being able to smile at the time of doing your pitch, all of that, your facial expressions, your body language is all part of your credibility. So it's very important that you practice this before a mirror. Practice this with your trusted friends. Be credible. Conceptual. You need to be able to give a 50,000-foot view of the problem and your solution, so that all you're doing is teasing them with the problem and the solution. They need to then ask you questions, and your pitch is there to incite them to ask questions and to get involved. Concrete. You must have concrete evidence of what the problem is and what the solution is. The concrete evidence is clear information that you have researched and are fully familiar with. Excuse the dogs barking, they are part of this pitch presentation. You need to customize your pitch for the individual. You need to customize your pitch for the individual audience that you're presenting to, whether it's the bank, the lender, the investor, a buyer, anyone that you're pitching to. Your pitch needs to be customized, but be consistent. You have to have the same pitch, no matter who it is, just framed differently depending on who you're presenting to. And it must be conversational. It mustn't sound like it's a rehearsed pitch. It must be done in a conversational manner with facial expressions that you're talking to someone and not coming from a stage. You're talking to them as a conversationalist and trying to get them to ask you questions and to build a relationship with that individual. And that's where the conversational aspect comes into play. I'll continue until, if you have any questions, just.
So I did get a question in the chat privately sent to me. The question was, is the session being recorded? And yes, it is, but it's not something that we're going to publicize or anything. It's being recorded for us to be able to, put it in our records that we hosted an event like this to help with presentations. So don't let that stop you from asking questions. So totally fine. We can share the recording with the participants, but we won't publicize it with other people outside, other than just for educational purposes. So yeah, go ahead and ask your question. I see in the chat they're writing back. They're saying it's not going to stop me if it's being recorded. So go ahead and ask your question. I mean, unmute yourself.
Yeah, that was my question. I just didn't want to interrupt.
But go ahead, because we want to be mindful of time here. And while this presentation David's sharing, there's a longer version of it on YouTube that you can also go back to. But go ahead and ask the question that you have as you're preparing for your pitch to a group of random judges on the 12th. Go ahead, Omar. You could ask.
That was my question. I just wanted to be sure it was being recorded in case I wanted.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Right. I'm not going to read these slides. They are here for your viewing, and you can look at them while I'm talking. So I'm not going to sit here and read these slides, but I'm going to describe some of the factors involved in how to do your pitch. Avoid things like, and this is common language, I would like to thank Ravi for inviting me to do this pitch presentation. Well, if I would like to thank him, why don't I thank him? In other words, be positive. Thank you, Ravi, not I would like to thank you, Ravi. That kind of language is important when you do the pitch, because you must be confident and talk in the factual way. Be positive. Don't be vague about I would like to, or I think we would like to develop this product. We intend to develop these products. Those are all very vague concepts and ideas. We will develop this product. We will provide this service. Be very positive about it. Be passionate. There's a lot of discussion on the internet by Simon Sinek, and he talks about the what, how, and why. What you're producing, how you're producing, and why you're producing it. What you produce, everybody can describe that. How you produce it, some people may or may not know. I don't want to know how a watch is made. I want to know it at the time. So all I want to know is what the watch does for me and tells me the time. And the critical and important aspect of that is the why. That is what distinguishes you from your competitors. That's what makes you passionate about your product, or viewed from the buyer's point of view, the investor's point of view, about your product or service, is your passion. Why are you doing it? What got you to do this particular service, or to create this product, or to work towards creating a product? And building a story. Think about the product, think about the story, and how you're going to build the story around that product or service so that it appeals to the person to whom you're presenting. This slide has to deal with some financial issues, startup costs, working capital, revenue projections, and deals with the concepts if you're going to present it to an investor or a lender. Everybody wants to know the one aspect, that is what everybody wants to know about. You're looking to present to a lender or an investor. So what is going to cost you to start? What's going to cost you to get to production or service levels? What your costs are, and then when is it going to be when is the break even and your profitability? Because if you're pitching to a lender or to a investor, they want to know that they can get money back. And if you're not going to be profitable, they're not going to get their money back. So the bottom line is the profitability. And I'm going to digress for a moment, because I heard that some of you are involved with ethical leadership and social entrepreneurship. And those are important elements, even though your focus is on social benefits, on non-profit corporations. Making a profit is what enables you to do that. So you are still going to be needed to make the profit in order to provide the benefit on a social basis or an ethical basis, if you interpret that. So profitability is a key function in this whole process of entrepreneurship. Without the profits, you cannot succeed. That's the key to success, is the profits. Not sure why different things. So your 1 minute pitch presentation, we've discussed and described who are you, what is your relevant background, what makes you qualified to provide the service or to develop the product. Make a connection. What are you trying to accomplish? And then always make that ask. When I see people going doing a fabulous presentation, but they forget to ask. They forget to say, would you buy this vehicle? Would you buy this product? Would you take my services? What can I do to confirm a contract with you? So you've got to make that ask at the end of the day to achieve that success. These are 7 aspects of a pitch that were developed by Megan Eddings. She is the founder and CEO of Excel Lifestyle, and she developed a material, a cloth, that was microbiological, that anti-sweat. So when you went to the gym and you sweated, it took away the smell of the sweat. Some fabric that she was able to do on that basis. Did a fabulous product, launched it about a year ago, and then when the COVID came, converted all of that into making masks. And she is making thousands, tens of thousands of masks today out of that product, Excel Lifestyle. These are the 7 points that she developed, and she was the winner of the pitch presentation by the City of Houston's pitch competition, Lift Off Houston. And she, as I say, was the winner, and these were her basis for the success. I mentioned Simon Sinek. These are his globes that he put together, the 7 golden globes. What we do, how we do it, and why we do it. Essentially, he says people buy from you because of the why, not the what or the how. They establish a relationship, and they like who you are, what you are, and that's why they buy from you. So whenever you develop these 3, answer these 3 questions, start with the why, then move to the how, and then the what. Those are the factors that he brings into play. And I will give you access to the various how to get to his presentations. Next is practice. No one succeeds without practice. Whether you're looking at J.J. Watt in football, whether you're looking at soccer, basketball, no matter what you're looking at, practice. Musicians have to practice. The more you practice, the more successful you are. At the top right-hand corner of the screen, you will see someone practicing in a mirror on the pitch. That is essential. But practice entails also doing the pitch to your family and friends until they are sick and tired of hearing from you. Get them to critique your pitch. Get them to listen to you and to tell you where you're going wrong and what you should change. You needn't follow every word they say, but take it meaningful, because it's important that you understand what the reaction is to your pitch. This is one way of doing a pitch presentation. Using Post-it notes, put down every single facet of your product or service. Make every single facet a separate Post-it note and post it to the wall. Sorry, hold on a second. I need to get rid of these dots.
So I did get some questions in the chat. I'm going to wait for David to come back. The question, Dr. Wilk, you may be able to also help answer this one. So, all right, David, you're currently muted. If you want to unmute, if you can unmute.
Sorry.
Nope.
Sorry about that.
No worries. There was a question that came in that either you or Dave, Dr. Wilk can take. But the question came in: should we tailor our pitch for the social entrepreneurship aspect of our business? For example, there are a lot of different aspects of business, of our business. But since we're in the social entrepreneurship track, should we focus on the impact of the community rather than the actual product? So that's a question from Gabriella.
I would say yes. I think it's important that you speak to people in a way that will excite them. And if I'm excited about a certain aspect of society, if I'm excited about the entrepreneurship aspect, and I meet someone who speaks to me about entrepreneurship, obviously I'm going to listen more and relate to that conversation far better. So I would say definitely knowing your audience and pitching to that specific audience is essential. I think you're muted.
And I'm going to add to something like the pitch contest, like if you're in a social track, it's just like, as David said, in real life, if someone is judging and you're in a social entrepreneurship track, they're going to look at what is your impact to society? What is your impact to the community? What is your impact to very specific, like if your product is targeted towards low income, what is the impact of your product or service towards that low income market? And what specifically in the low end, not just low income, but what part of the low income market are you really, the more nuanced, the more focused you are about your impact to that particular group and how, like we were talking about before, how you're impacting. And I think we're going back to what Rhea said, is why are you impacting it? That how and why, once again, you're going back to exactly what we're talking about, is you're impacting this very specific market, you're providing them, but how are you providing them? And why does that market need your product or service that they can't get somewhere else, right? What is unique? What's that unique offering that you're giving to them? And I think if you go into that very deep understanding of it, you show that deep understanding and how it's impacting society, then you'll really create a great pitch. You'll really create attention. You really create desire that this is something that's needed. So, yeah.
I agree entirely, Dr. Will. In preparation for the pitch, do brainstorming and look at every facet of the pitch. We will then take, of these facets, you'll take probably 15 of them as the most important 15. That's your 1 minute pitch. And then look at those 15 and take 3 or 4 of them as the key to that. It's the one aspect that will make someone listen to you. So first of all, do everything, then narrow it down to a reliable few, and then an important few, and then take it to the critical mass, the critical aspects that are absolutely critical in your presentation. I was sent a photograph by my daughter, and her 10-year-old daughter, my 10-year-old granddaughter, was using Post-it notes in preparation for a presentation. She was at school and using my daughter as the place to put her exercise. So even at 10 years old, she was doing pitching, and just a nice example of doing the pitch. This is the 1 minute exercise, pitch exercise. Take a few minutes to select 5 most important facets of your pitch to use for the 1 minute pitch. Don't bury the lead. Lead with the problem and solution. If you think of a headline in a newspaper, the headline is to entice you to read the story. The pitch, the lead, should be that 3 to 5 critical, important facets of your product or service that you want them to really relate to. It's the same as the headline in a story. It's the same as the title in a book. So the title of a movie, all of these are designed to make you want to buy the book, the movies, the newspaper. So doing that 1 minute pitch and looking at those critical points will really be meaningful, and then having someone critique them and look at your pitch presentation and make it successful. Using PowerPoints, there are numerous numerous talks on the use of PowerPoints. Again, the same things apply. create a large outline, look at the most important critical aspects, use contrasting colors, use a big enough font, don't move the text, don't use gimmicks. It's more of an irritant than a benefit to you. Turn that pointer off. Don't wave the pointer around the screen. Use visuals instead of text. You are more likely to remember the use of PowerPoint, the use of Post-it notes on the photograph of my daughter than you would on the previous slide that had it on a wall. Have the slides at the end of your presentation and be able to jump to any slide and end off with a blank screen. So also there's a way of drawing on the screen, which if you go to the bottom of the PowerPoint presentation in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see methods to draw and accentuate aspects of the screen while you're talking. That's just another aspect of your pitch. Here are some of the information on where to see some of the things that I've given you, the examples of a 60-minute pitch, the examples of Egan's pitch, Simon Sinek's How Great Leaders Inspire Action, and the use of PowerPoint. So that, in a nutshell, I've gone through this very quickly in the time frame that Ravi gave me, but I hope that it was made you think, and if it made you think, that you would look towards preparing and the practice necessary to do a great pitch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. This is, the education that you've just given here, surpasses the MBAs and the doctorates and the other degrees that I had to pay for. You gave it away for free. So I really appreciate that about you. And you're accessible to the students who are pursuing this journey of entrepreneurship. So that's really helpful. All right, so I do see some questions in the chat there. So the question about PowerPoint slides and templates that were shared, let me quickly just bring that back up because we do have some guidelines for the competition that we want to follow. And David, this this is the 6 slides template that we had shared with the student group, and we wanted them to exactly kind of how you said, keep it brief and have the headline, define the problem, right? What are you pitching? And you can use pictures here. We prefer any videos or links to embedded videos on the slides because we don't necessarily know how music or sound's gonna kind of roll off on the day of the event. We rather not have any issues with that. So use pictures and words to convey the problem. We've got a solution slide here. What's your solution? Key features of what you're pitching, exactly as kind of David pointed out. With keep it concise. Don't go to the 30th feature value add of your product. Just get to the top ones, and let the audience know what do you have that you the solution. We're looking for the value proposition. What the why, right? As so sort of the what are you offering that is filling the gap that's in the market. The plan for you to go to market. What do you want to do here? Who's the customer that you're engaging? Try to target the market a little bit. Let the judges know, and ultimately, I think either the profit or the purpose of what's the plan to actually generate money or exchange or barter. What's the plan here to make it sustainable? As an entrepreneur who's pitching this idea, what's your goal? What's your ask? What's your take from this? So this was kind of just shared as a template. So we do want you, the goal for us was to limit you to 6 slides. It wasn't to tell you that we want a big problem statement and that's all you can talk about. You could be very creative in how you present the problem. Completely up to you. You can have a flow chart, you can have a graphic or an image that defines and gets people to, that hook, that 15-second that David shared, that tells the person why this is important to some people, and follow it up with the solution that you're offering. So so I think that was the question. I hope if you want, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask if that, or let me know if that answers the question. But what
Yes, that
David's
answers
talking
the
about is you
question.
pitching. Good. Yeah. So while this is your presentation, you still have to verbally pitch. You still have to make the sell. You can't get away from that. You gotta. Your PowerPoints could be rock solid, beautiful, elegant. You've got transitions and the whole 9 yards. But if you don't present it by talking and sharing your passion about your project, it doesn't matter. So it's you that have to practice, and you have to share that passion. And we're all going to be on Zoom, but we'll all be watching you. So right, we're going to all have a webcam looking at you. So we need to see that from you as you're pitching your idea. And the judges that are there, they're deciding who they like the most to give up the $5,000 prize money. So tell them why. That all are great ideas. In fact, Dr. Wilk and I did. We don't hide the ideas from each other. You know exactly who the other team is pitching, right? Thanks to Idea Scale, you could go and see everyone's pitches. So it's not like the idea. It's going to be you and your passion for your idea that's going to sell, and how well you present it. Which is, to David's point, I think David always, one thing he's told me that stuck with me from the first time I met him is that you're always selling. It's not just for this pitch competition, but you're always selling. And if I may, he said something that I liked a lot. He said, when you're looking for your girlfriend or a boyfriend, you're pitching yourself to them that you're in the market. So it's the skill of pitching is something that's going to be with you lifelong. And good entrepreneurs, they built that up through practice, and then it's no longer a risk for them to talk about anything. They could present it well. Something I want to learn how to do from David, some more. So David, can you add anything to that?
No, I think we're both on the same page, Ravi. If you look at these 6 slides that you've got here, they virtually track what we've talked about in the pitch presentation. And at the end of the day, it's you that people are buying. The product is just part of the situation. The service is something, but the bottom line is, do they like you?
Great. All right, let's take another question. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and see. Go ahead and unmute yourself. We've got very little time left on the clock. So if you've got any questions about our pitch presentation or even the competition itself, you've got the 3 of us here who could help. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any question.
Hi, this is Shannon. What if your service or idea encompasses both the entrepreneurship and the social entrepreneurship?
You've got the best of both worlds. I think we all want to do socially acceptable social good, and doing a profit at the same time is great. If you think of some of the successful businesses that are around, many of them, particularly today, have a social component to them, and those are the ones that are probably the most successful. So having both, I think you've got an advantage.
There's a whole field that's come up, and then David had actually shared with me conscious capitalism, right? Yeah, you've got the best of both worlds. Sell the passion, the purpose, and the profit.
One thing I would say to you is be wary of the track you're in too. So if you're in social entrepreneurship, understand that the judges, when you give your pitch, they're going to ask, what's the social impact? So if you're talking about profit and how much money you're going to make in the social entrepreneurship track, even though you could have a conscious capital company, they're still going to, you may be talking in the wrong direction, for lack of a better word. Okay. Same thing in dealing with like a for-profit or the entrepreneurship section. If you start talking about social advocacy and social impact in the entrepreneurship section, even though clearly people, we have in our hearts, we want to do something that's going to be profitable and have social benefit. I think you may have the judges look at you and say, well, what's the profit? What's the opportunity here? And the same is true when we go back to David was talking about, you have to understand your audience. You have to understand the investor or the person giving you the grant. Are they a government agency where it's a social track, or are you talking to someone who's looking for a return on their investment? So it can change according to the investor, can change according to who you're talking to. But for the pitch presentation, please be wary of what track you're on, and just realize that it's the same going to be like if you're talking to a different type of investor or a different type of person who's looking to invest in you. What's in it for them? I always the WIIFM, my favorite radio station. What's in it for me, right?
And was there an email sent to us that told us what track we were on?
Yes, it was sent out to you. You should have it at the top of your email. I'll talk to you. Just send me an email follow up. I'll discuss it with you. Just do a follow up email after today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I saw another question that we may have already answered it, but the outline that was provided, the 6 slides, is that all they can use and not add any extra slides? The reason the slides were there was kind of, because you're timed on this pitch comp. You've got 3 minutes to pitch, and I think when we put the kind of the slide template together, we just said, 30 seconds per slide is plenty of time, and that's how we came up with the 3-minute limit. So while the 6 slides that are the template that are there, those are recommended. You can choose what you want to do with those 6 slides that you feel best, helps your pitch. Again, you're the one selling, so if you want to move things around, go for it. My thoughts are, just don't go adding lots more slides out of concern for timing. And I don't think we're going to police you like, hey, you're on the 7th slide, that's it, kill the presentation. Even if it's 1 minute into we're not going to do that. It's a guide, a recommendation, but not I would say it's not mandatory. You just stick with the be in that realm of it, as long as you're not causing a distraction to others or creating disruption for the whole flow of things. I think we'll be okay. We want you to have a good presentation in the time that's allocated to you. It's an elevator pitch. Yeah, the door's open, the person you're pitching to is gone. The key is get them to say, that's interesting, here's my business card, follow up, right? You want them interested and engaged. So don't worry so much about those 6 slides and all that. Just make sure you don't go over time. That's more important, I think. Any other questions?
Rob, one thing real quick I'll add to that, and something David hit on is there's an old saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So really with a 3-minute time frame, pictures can be more effective than the whole list of words, the whole line after line after line. You just one image that's striking. And one of the things I've also learned about not just image, but there's another saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. but a good metaphor, a good story behind that picture is worth 1,000 pictures.
Well said. Make it memorable and story tell it. I like that. Okay. Wow, look at the time. These things go fast. So how about this? David, can I ask you to share your email address with the group?
Sure. It's david.regenbohm@hccs.edu. All
right. So you have an open invitation from David. I'm going to put it on to need any help. You want him to run by anything, just go ahead and reach out to him and use this time to practice. David's a fantastic mentor. I encourage you to use the help that's around you at both institutions here. We're here for you. We're your cheerleaders, right? But we can't cheerlead if we don't know what we're selling. so tell us what we need to sell. So get in touch with us. Let us know. Shannon, you unmuted yourself. You have a question, or
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up? Okay.
I was wondering if David could review his. I'm sorry. I was wondering if David could state his email address again.
Let me post it on the questions and answers for you.
Let me. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Oh, he's putting it. Okay. I got you. All right, it's coming in the chat to everybody. That's his email. All participants. Okay, that should go to everybody.
Not going.
Did it? Got it?
I don't have access to that send.
I've shared it with the attendees and the participants, so it should be,
there you go.
Should be there. Yeah. In either case, you have access to Dr. Wilk's email, so reach out to him as well. Thank you. And let's wrap this session up. Thanks everybody for joining us. Stay safe from the hurricanes out there, but keep practicing for your pitch competition and let us know if you have any questions. We're looking forward to having you all join a test session for actually doing a tech check and everything probably a week before. So look out for that email in which we're going to invite all the judges and everybody to come in just for a few minutes to do a tech check, make sure you know how you can share your screen from on WebEx events. And then we've got on the day of the event we'll have up to 30 minutes or up to an hour before the event we'll if anyone wants to come in and double check, we'll be available for those things. But that's the wrap. Any questions, go ahead and reach out to us. Thank you so much, David, for joining us and sharing the presentation and the education here. Boy, I wish I'd met you when I started my first company, but I'm glad I met you now. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you.
All right, folks, with that, the music's going to come on, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good luck.